So, in this episode, we're going to learn about the evolutionary needs that humans have, right? So, let's get to it. All humans produce and consume, right? There are many of us that are producers, there are many of us that are consumers. Some of us do both. In fact, most of us do both. For producers, you need to align a human being's incentives, what you give a human in the workplace, with their evolutionary needs in the plains of the savannah. So you as a manager need to give a human the right things that he or she needs in the workplace, right? And you need to align their incentives or how you reward that human with what their needs are. And for consumers, humans will only buy and use what fits into their evolutionary needs hierarchy. It is impossible for you to get someone to work with you, work for you, or sell them something if you are not selling them or giving them a need of theirs, some basic need of theirs, right? So here are some lower order needs and here are some higher order needs. In fact, this list is nearly exhaustive. This is all the things that all humans need. Consumption, you need to eat, drink, breathe, sleep, excretion, obviously, humans need to excrete, avoiding physical harm and injury, coping with imagined harm, and avoiding disease. So this doesn't mean that, this is imagined harm, right? It need not be a real threat, but humans want to avoid any threat even in the future. Acquiring and maintaining a mate, protecting offspring, making friends and allies, collaborating, and these are higher order needs, right? Humans need to make friends and allies and collaborate. Humans want to attain status, right? We want to be better than everyone around us. We want to attain skill. We want to be able to use our hands to build and create something. We want to grow, learn, and adapt, right? We want to obviously grow and adapt. We need a way to settle score, right? So if I contribute something and somebody else contributes something and somebody else doesn't contribute as much, we need a way to settle score between the three of us. So the person who doesn't contribute as much is not given the same kind of rewards. We like the idea of fairness, right? And finally, humans need an internal narrative or a purpose. And all of this, obviously, the most primitive version of this chart was the Maslow's pyramid, which was created many, many years ago by a gentleman named Maslow. And it came up with, here are some lower order needs that humans have, here are some higher order needs. And as humans gain more than lower order needs, they need more of their higher order needs. So internal narrative and a purpose is a story that humans tell themselves. Each of us tell ourselves to be able to live our lives with consistency, right? So for producers, if you're running an office and humans have all of these needs, it'll start to make sense why offices are structured in a certain way. So for example, with consumption, you need something like an office pantry. That's obvious, right? You need some way for humans to eat. You need sleep. So maybe nap breaks, adequate sleep. Don't allow human beings to only come after 4 hours of sleep to work. Usually those people get fired. Toilets. And by the way, sometimes this need for sleep, you can enforce it without having, a bedroom in the office. You can say something along the lines of, look, if you don't come to office after resting 8 hours a night or 7 hours a night or whatever, if you come to the office tired, you are going to get fired. So you don't get any of the other needs. So you can actually use the other needs to make sure that humans get the sleep that they themselves need. Because at the end of the day, humans sacrifice sleep so that they can have fun and work, right? But that might not work for an employer because the human himself has not slept enough. So things like mood are not in the best of shape. Excretion, obviously you need a toilet. Avoiding physical harm, which is you need a safe environment, maybe security, maybe some cab and bus service, maybe sane work timings. And you'll be surprised, right? A lot of people don't go to work or quit their jobs or don't start working at a place because some of these small needs are not met. I know several people, especially in my last company when we were trying to hire people, it was harder for us to hire women because we'd work nearly till 1 or 2 a.m. in the night and it wasn't safe for women to go back at that time, right? And we had to work hard to get a cab and bus service because even that one small thing which was bothering the person made it harder for them to work with us, right? In fact, they would reject our company based on that. This was back in JobSpire, right? So coping with imagined harm and avoiding disease, which is maybe insurance. A lot of companies give out health insurance. Counseling, a lot of companies have a counselor internally. Acquiring and maintaining a mate, which is allowing humans to have that social interaction that they need so badly. Protecting offspring. So I don't think protecting offspring is here. We forgot about it, which is if humans have kids, they care about their kids a lot. So insurance, maternity leave, empathy with some child policy, making friends and allies. So teams, So you don't just have a 30-man company where everyone works with each other all the time. You break it down to smaller teams because human can only have contacts with a few number of people. We'll come to that in a bit. Attaining status, so promotions and titles, they come from that philosophy because humans, you might think it might be a great idea to give everybody the same title, but it doesn't work in practice because humans need status, and status is it's relative, right? I want status compared to the people around me, right? So that is something we'll get to in a bit. Humans want to attain skill, so trainings, workshops, they want to be able to feel like they're getting better. Growing, learning, and adapting is the same thing as attain skill, but also implementing it, which is trainings, workshops, career counseling, which is actual practice sessions for some hobbies that they have. All of that is very important. A way to settle score, money. And you'll see that money is coming somewhere at the bottom of this, but it is a higher order need because settling score is a way to be able to represent contribution. So the people that make the most amount of money in our society are actually the people that contribute the most to society. So whether in a good way or a bad way, these people who generate a lot of money are actually contributing a lot of things to society, except the people who get money via inheritance, in which case it was their parents or a previous generation that contributed and gave society what it wanted, right? That's actually what money is. It's a measure of contribution. And finally, internal narrative and purpose, right? The vision of the company, the mission of the company, and how you as a human being or as an employee align with that bigger or larger vision and mission. So far we've been talking about producers. Let's talk a little bit about consumers, right? Why do people buy products? And people buy products for the same things, right? And you might think that something like a Coca-Cola, and by the way, we're not affiliated with Coca-Cola. We couldn't care less about it, but it's a brand that everybody resonates with, right? So in this example, people think that, hey, Coca-Cola is just about, drinking something, right? It's solving one basic need, but the truth is it's not. It's solving more than one basic need. Let me show you what it looks like. In fact, it solves more than a basic need that you think, which is Coca-Cola allows you to make friends and allies. It allows you to collaborate, right? In fact, that's what Coca-Cola's pitch is, right? All of their videos are about people, right? Even with Nike, all of their videos are about doing it with people. So the minute you have Coca-Cola, you have at least one topic to relate to another person about, because Coca-Cola is a famous brand, right? You attain status. So when you're drinking Coca-Cola, you're drinking something that is well known. Think about it, right? If you had the option between a Coca-Cola and some other lower order brand that you've never heard of, maybe an Uncle Cola or something like that you've probably never heard of, you're more likely to go with the Coke, because you know that even if you know that all the components are together, you know that this Coca-Cola is at least safer, right? It's a lot more than you think. And, we'll study this as we go, but Coca-Cola gives you a lot more than just quench your thirst. And we'll come to this. Right? And here's an example of Facebook. Facebook does a lot more than just connecting people. It's about acquiring and maintaining a mate in a way. It helps you acquire status. That's why people put up, posts when they change jobs or when they're doing something exciting. Not because they're so excited about it themselves, they might be, but they want to tell the world that they're excited. They want likes and shares and comments, because those are actually indirect markers of status. The number of followers you have, the number of likes you get per post, the number of shares, those are all actually indirect markers of status, right? And we learn about this, right, as we go through the management course. They want to attain skill. Facebook is actually a good way to find events, find what other people are doing. So it's opportunities, a way to grow, learn, and adapt through the articles that are shared on Facebook, a way to settle score, right? And you might not understand it, but Facebook, you can see how much somebody's contributing to society based on what they share and what they create on Facebook. And obviously, but now that platform is, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on WhatsApp, I'm just talking about a social network in general, right? And finally, an internal narrative and a purpose. One of the strongest things about Facebook is when you look at your timeline or you look at your history, whether on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, you are able to create this story of yourself. And you say, I was here and now I'm here and this is my story, right? And you can buy into other people's stories. So you'll see that at the end of the day, the world is like a lot of bubbles of different people's shared stories with each other, right? And it's your job as a manager to create this company story that takes into account every employee's story and to create this wholesome narrative that makes sense for the person while still solving the lower order needs of that person, right? So in the next episode, we'll learn a little more about how to actually make that happen. Catch you on the next one.